At the gates of Kabul Airport, there was thousands and hundreds of people in front of us. Lots of people lost their babies, lost their mother and their parents. It was a very chaotic moment.
Ramesh Salimi is one of hundreds of thousands of vulnerable Afghan citizens who rushed the Kabul airport in August of 2021, the only passage out of danger. For 24 hours, he waited, witnessing heartbreaking desperation, questioning whether he would get out alive, whether his wife and 3-year-old daughter would live.
I had doubt to be alive with my daughter and my wife because there's lots of shooting and fighting going around us.
He shared this video he took as the family tried to reach the gates. Gunshots can be heard in the background.
My daughter was crying, let's back to home. 3 times she was crying at the moment, please return me.
We asked Ramesh about some of the horrific images we saw from Kabul after it fell to the Taliban. People grasping an airplane, facing an almost certain death.
Because they had not any choice. If they would not do, the Taliban were shooting them. They had to do. I was in airport. I was in Afghanistan. They had to do.
Many who had burned their documents in fear of the Taliban now had nothing to show, no proof, no way out. Ramesh had been living a normal life like any of us. He is a journalist, was an executive director of the Kabul Post, part of a new wave of more progressive views in Afghanistan, a proponent of women's rights, a believer in the future of a city battered by decades of conflict.
Afghan was a nation brimming with potential held back by politics. For so long we were called the country of the future, but this moment never came. Afghan again collapsed, lost everything. It was very painful.
On a plane to Qatar, Ramesh found himself in a familiar yet uncertain place. He has been a refugee for most of his life. Now 34 years old, his family first fled Afghanistan when he was just 12. He would live in a refugee camp in Pakistan, teach himself 4 languages, welcoming the day 3 years ago when he returned to his homeland.
This is the president of Afghanistan. It's me.
This is the last publication of his newspaper, 1 week before the Taliban seized power. One of the few items he took in a single bag, a reminder of the fleeting moments of freedom.
Freedom of speech is everything. It's changed the narrative of the society. It's changed the narrative of humanity.
After leaving Afghanistan, Ramesh spent months at Fort McCoy military base in Wisconsin. Here, his daughter Hila makes friends in a new country. On the day we met him and his wife Khurshid, the family was moving into a new home in Methuen after months in a suburban hotel.
We left everything behind. We started from zero, but I hope the United States is a best opportunity for me and for my family, especially for my daughter.
Ramesh is lucky. He speaks some English. His daughter is learning quickly.
1, 2, 3, 4. Good job.
But his wife, who is pregnant with a baby boy, struggles with a barrier posed by a strange language in this strange land. Ramesh doesn't cry for himself, but his eyes well with tears when he talks about the U.S. military.
The people of the United States should be proud of men and women in uniform. They save us. The woman who saved the Afghan babies, she died.
There is harsh realization.
The reality of our life is very hard and very painful. I love my people, but I cannot do anything.
But there is also hope in a new life, in the endless view of a little girl.
For her, this is the beginning of real life. It's the beginning of an opportunity and a new horizon.
Ramesh and his family have now connected with a community of support through Temple Shalom in Newton. The temple and its volunteers were able to find them housing that is closer to other Afghan families and to job opportunities in Greater Boston. Hila will even be starting school soon, an opportunity not afforded to all Afghan girls at this time. News.